Hey everyone, I just thought I'd do a quick tutorial on this compact little light flicker I built. Um, Basically what it simulates is a short circuit, and I just threw it together just to try it out and see what it looks like, and I'm pretty satisfied by how, it looks quite professional. These, if you want to buy one, they go for about, I believe, $69. Um, they do have different versions. You can get like a candle, fire, or electrical, I think. There's those three different options. And they do have a sensitivity knob, which these don't. All they have is just this on and off switch here, and then it's all just... So to put something like this together, you're going to need a lamp cord. They tend to come pre-stripped. This one has a switch on it. You don't need to have a switch. A utility box, a utility plate for receptacle, just a regular receptacle, a clamp to hold the extension cord into the box, just a small, all you need is like maybe 5 inches of just other extension cord. I'm just using some scrap I have. Anything will work. And an FS2 starter. Now it has to be an FS2. I know they make an FS4, and the FS4s don't work, so just be sure to grab the FS2 starter, because that's the key component in this whole build. And the tools you're going to need for this project are any color electrical tape. I prefer black. Wire strippers, a number 1 Robertson, a number 2 Robertson, aka green and a red, an X-Acto knife for a box cutter, and a hot glue gun. So I'd just like to do a quick little disclaimer. This is a simple project to do, but it definitely takes some electrical know-how. So if you're not too familiar with, how to wire something up, and if you're not getting what I'm saying, then I'd just hold off on it and maybe just look some stuff up. And also I'd recommend getting a 3-prong lamp cord, only because if a 3-prong light gets plugged into this and the ground needs to be used, it won't have anywhere to go. All my lights are 2 prongs, so I'm probably just going to fill this with hot glue or something, fill the little ground there, so anyone who's plugging something in knows that 3-prong isn't enough. So if you came across the same situation as I did, is the box connector to hold the wire in the utility box. Its tightest position doesn't hold onto the wire properly, like the wire still can move around. So for me, I just measured about maybe 7 inches down the cord, and I just wrapped it a few times in electrical tape just to give it make it a little beefier, just so the clamp has something to hold on to. Just like that. Your next step is to take the box connector and just put it through one of the knockouts in your box. It doesn't really matter which. As you can see, there's plenty of knockouts all over it. You can put it in whichever one you want. I prefer on the end here. I think it looks the neatest. Once you get that hand tight, I prefer to make it look nice and level and nice as possible, and then just grab... My wire strippers have like a little gripper on the end that I can tighten this down with, just like that. So now that box connector is tight in there. So after you're done the box, you just want to take just a piece of your extension cord. It can be really anything, as long as it holds up the appropriate voltage. So maybe some size 14 or 16 wire, doesn't really matter. And I cut off about 6 to 7 inches of that just to be safe. And then you just want to strip the ends on those. Just like that. So you have both ends stripped. Next, you want to grab your duplex receptacle and you want to just tighten down one of the screws on each side. I prefer the bottom screw. It doesn't matter as long as you have this little piece of metal in between each contact. If you can see here, there's just that piece of metal right there, and then you can see it on the other side. It just connects the two. You want to make sure you have that so that both sides of the receptacle will be working. So if you're using, say, a used receptacle, just make sure that that little strip of metal is in place on each side. So it just looks like that. So one screws out on each side. Next, you just want to take the little piece of extension cord you cut, twist all the strands together, and wrap it around the gold side of the receptacle. That's the gold side, this is the silver side. You want to make sure it is the gold side. So wrap that around and then tighten it down with a screwdriver. Nice and tight. So that is on there. It's not coming off. That is attached. Next, you want to go to your lamp cord and find which of the ends is the hot end or the power end. I do this by looking at the end of the plug. If you can see here, camera's a little blurry, but this prong is fatter than the other one, which means this is identified or neutral, and this one is the live side. So then if I look down the live side, on the right side here, you can see a little bit of writing, so I just know that when I get to the end, that same writing, you can see a little bit there. Yeah, that same writing applies to the hot. So this guy's the hot, so I just strip another, I don't know, maybe an inch. It's a bit hard because there's solder on the end of it. There we go. Took a lot of effort. And strip the other side as well. Just like that. So now that you have everything stripped, you just want to pass the lamp holder wires through the box, get to that small amount of electrical tape you had, and just tighten down the connector. Just like that. So now that's on there. Nice. So now what you want to do is take your FS2 starter and you want to wrap the hot side of your lamp cord around one of the leads, and then you want to take that small piece of extension cord with the outlet on it and wrap it around the other. So you have something that looks like that. So after you're done wrapping the two wires around the starter, just take your glue gun and you want to just cover the whole top, which prevents any short circuits touching the box and is just a good, safe thing to do. I put a lot on there. And then you just wait for it to dry. So now that your hot glue is dried, this is an optional measure, but I just like to take a couple of zip ties and just zip tie the wires around the FS2 starter, just in case, you know, there's any sort of tugging, that the wires will remain attached. So from here on, there's only one more wire to connect. It's just the neutral, and you just put that on the silver screw and tighten that down. Make sure all your connections are tight, double check. And now it's just a matter of fitting it inside the box, just like this, and then tightening down all of these screws. Tighten that into place. And you have your fully functioning flicker box. So now that you've built your flicker box, you can try it out. Just here's a few different varieties you can do. I just have this light to show what a lamp would look like. So here's just a regular incandescent 15-watt bulb. So that's the style of short circuit it gives off. Here's a 60-watt bulb. A little trick I found is the higher you go in wattage, the less it flickers. So I guess that's a little way of kind of adjusting the flicker. I find that like 7.5 and 15-watt bulbs give the best flicker effect. But here's a 60. I'll show you guys. So as you can see, it's just small jitters. Doesn't completely turn on and off. Here's a small 7.5-watt bulb. You can really see how small it is. I used these for my haunt this year. I found that they gave off a really cool flickering light effect. So here we go. It's almost like a strobe light. I think this effect is the best. And here we have a yellow compact fluorescent. What's cool about this flash or flicker is that it does affect these. It's not as noticeable as the incandescents, but it does look like a short circuit, you know, electrical failure look. So it looks pretty cool. I'll show you guys that right now. Now it's not meant to flash or flicker fluorescence. They're not really meant to do it, but you know, I do it anyways. I'll be honest. So now that you've completed one, I'm sure it's not hard for you to build a few more. Thanks for watching. I give full credit to a video I watched on YouTube. I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but I'll definitely post a link in the description. And thanks a lot for watching.